Welcome back, everybody. I'm having a very fun pre-chat with Lynda Boyd, who you all know and love as Lilly from Virgin River on Netflix. Welcome to the program, Lynda.
Thank you, Alan.
It's my pleasure, and as I was watching the show, and my normal process before I have anybody on is I watch their work. Either I'm very familiar with their work and I've seen them in something, many somethings, or I've seen you because I know that I've seen you in a bunch of places, but Virgin River I hadn't watched. So I started watching Virgin River. I usually do at least an episode just to kind of get a feel. I
Yeah.
couldn't stop with Virgin River episodes, so I'm already done with season one. So now I'm on season two. And we know that season three just came out, so I'll be catching up to it very soon.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
I do. It was such a great change of pace for me because the series that I just got done watching and my whole family is watching and having a lot of fun with is now the name escapes me. It's Younger. It's Younger, which is just finished its
Oh,
run. It did 7 seasons. Think Sex in the City, same producers. They did Younger, which is a
it's
really,
called
really
Younger,
nice.
like Younger.
Yes, yeah, Younger.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
I never
it's a
heard of it.
check it out. I think it's on MTV or it was on MTV. I watched it on Hulu, where
Okay. Okay.
we all stream nowadays anyway. So,
Yeah.
but I believe it's an MTV show. So
Oh, okay.
just got done with it. I said I'm not gonna watch kind of any more shows, and I got stuck on yours because I like it a lot. So, and it's
Yes,
a
I know. I know people who Monday morning or no Friday morning last week started watching it as soon as they got up and didn't stop until the end.
I
Yeah.
certainly understand. I understand how that can happen because it's a really good show, and it catches you by surprise. And I had no intention of watching any more than one episode. I just wanted to
Yeah.
get a feel. I wanted to see you in the role, and I wasn't going to continue. But I just can't stop myself, and I keep watching it because I find more and more things that are drawing me in.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it expands. It just keeps getting more involved,
Yeah.
and you get to know these people in the town. And some. Oh, sorry, my
No, no worries.
little cell phone went ting ting. Um, yeah, you get to know people in this little town, and um, like, yeah, it's interesting. None of us had any idea. It was just,
Yeah.
oh, this is some nice material. That's great. No
It's
idea.
Yeah, good writers, and I like some of the references because I didn't know anything about the show, right? So I start watching the show. It starts with the red BMW kind of getting into an accident in the middle of nowhere. I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty cute. That's kind of Doc Hollywood, type of start. And then I see more and more references to Doc Hollywood, including the fact that Doc even calls her Nurse Hollywood in episode two of season one. So
Oh, okay. I
I
never
thought
made that connection. That's cool.
immediately because again, nurse practitioner. Obviously, he was a doctor. There's no reference to Grady or anything like that, but it's the red sports car or red luxury car, which is what Michael J. Fox was driving in that one. And
Wow.
then she comes in, she kind of starts falling in love with the town. But this is very different from Doc Hollywood. It's a drama, and it's a really good drama where everyone has a story. Everyone has something interesting going on. And
Hmm.
you just get drawn right into it because you want to see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. No, and you know what's really lovely too is like I've worked with Tim Matheson before,
Hmm.
several times. He directed me in a movie, and also I did a movie with him as a co-actor. I'd worked with Alex Breckenridge before on She's the Man.
Yeah.
And then all the women in my sort of, we get together at Jack's Bar and we knit, and all my friends.
Yeah.
Basically, I know all those women. I've known them for, well, Terrell Rothery, I've known since we were teenagers. He
Wow.
plays Muriel.
Okay.
Yeah. And Nicola Cavendish and I had just finished doing a play together. She plays Connie. We
Yeah.
just finished doing a play together, and we auditioned for this thing called Virgin River. And she auditioned for Hope. I auditioned for Connie. And
Ah.
then when my agent called to say I got a Virgin River, I was like, "Oh, cool." And she goes, "Yeah, you're the role of Lily." I went, "Who?" You don't get the whole script when you audition. You get just your pages, as you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I'm going, oh, this is cool. Nicola Cavendish and I both auditioned. We got cast in different parts, but it
Yeah.
all worked out perfectly.
It did, but not actually. It made me wonder because, again, another part of my process before I interview anybody who I'm not as familiar with is I go and watch your demo reels. So I go on your website, I watch all of your demo reels, I go on IMDb Pro, which is my home away from home, uh, and then I see you and you're playing a lot of strong characters. I really, I see a strong presence. You have tattoos, things that we're going to talk about in a second. But and then I see you playing Lilly, and it's a very different character. It's completely different. So when you said that you auditioned for Kanye, I said, yeah, that makes sense. Based on some of the roles that I've seen you in, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And originally she was going to be from somewhere else, like Georgia or something, and she
Hmm.
had quite an accent, and I really went for that, and I thought, oh, okay, and I didn't get that job, but yeah, I honestly, Lily is, I don't know where she came from, yeah, because normally I played the Randy the bartender in Tin Star was, you know, butting heads with Tim Roth's character. Um, Yeah, interesting. Honestly, don't know.
Yeah, but
You know,
it's great, and that's the best part, right? We as actors we audition for things, and then when somebody is looking at it from the other side of the lens, they're saying, "Okay, I like it, but perfect right here instead." That's
mhm.
what I always want. I'm like, "Hey, I'm me. You see me. Find something
Yeah,
that you think I would be best at." So
yeah, absolutely. And
now you've mentioned all the ladies that you know around the knitting table. How about Hope's character, Annette? Have you worked with her before?
no, I had never worked with Annette.
No?
She's just the loveliest person. She kept trying to help me. I'm a really bad knitter. In fact, I have this thing that looks like a scarf for a Barbie doll. I've been working on it for about 2.5 years. And so I brought it to work. I said, why don't I just keep working on this? And then
Yeah,
we had to put the color, make sure it was okay with the production, that it all
sure.
matched nice. Yeah. Anyway, basically, I would try to knit during break times and wreck it and go, Annette, do you mind to put me back on? And she'd get me right back on. Okay. Okay. Thanks so much. And then it would go again. And if she'd gone to do a scene, there'd be Gwyneth Walsh over there. I go, oh, Gwyneth, do you mind? They're like expert knitters. Annette would be knitting a new outfit practically every time I saw her, like hats and scarves and sweaters. And Terrell can knit. Nicola can knit. I can't. I've tried. I've had lessons. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, listen, it's a good thing to do because you're on set, and a lot of times it's just a lot of waiting around. So you can definitely knit.
Yeah. No. Do you mind if I go get my dog really quick?
Yeah, go
He's
for it. Of
he's
course.
squeaking at the bottom of the stairs, and okay, I'll be like 1 sec.
Yeah, bring him in.
Milo, where are you? Come on up, buddy. I come get you. Come here. He's coming upstairs with me.
Perfect.
Oh,
Include him.
he weighs 30 pounds.
Okay. Good
Yeah,
workout.
he'll say a quick hello because he's not camera shy. There's Milo.
Hi. Hello.
Isn't he the
Who's your
cutest?
good boy?
He's quite a good boy. Now go lie down, buddy. He weighs 30 pounds. He was supposed to be a Chihuahua and a Maltese and weigh 10 pounds, but
Yeah.
he's 30 pounds and he's not none of those things.
Well, I can't lift my dog up. I mean, I can, but he's 65 pounds and
What is
he's
he?
a big dude. We thought we adopted him, we rescued him, and we thought
Yeah.
he was a Rhodesian Ridgeback and a Lab mix. He
Okay.
turned out to be a black-mouthed cur, which we didn't even know exists.
Did you do
But
a DNA sample? Is that how you found out?
DNA samples were awful. They were completely off. We did it,
Oh,
and they were just completely off. Like, he's a guy that looks like a lab with a Rhodesian mix, and they were saying that he has like 10 or 15% Chihuahua. Like, yeah, right. Uh, So it was completely off. But we
Oh,
finally, years later, we figured out that he's a black mouth cur, which is a really kind of old American breed of dogs, and they kind of look like labs. And when they open their mouths, you can see that there is a black, the mouth is black. So he's a
right,
black mouth
right.
cur. Yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, so I don't usually lift him up, and we didn't have him as a puppy, which I would have loved to because he's the
I
cutest thing right now. I can't even imagine what he would have been like as a puppy.
know. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Anyway,
I-
when I talk about Annette, one of the things that kind of as an actor, there are things that I'm watching for as I watch a series. So I usually watch in three different kind of
yeah, of
realms.
course. I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the things that drew me to Annette is that I'm like, Annette reminds me of Diane Keaton. There is a lot of
I,
similarity in just the way that they are. I'm sure I'm not the first one who said that, right?
well, now that you say it, and I've worked with Diane Keaton, so I get it.
Okay.
I see it now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Geez, and I did a whole movie with Diane. I played her best friend,
Yeah.
and then we became friends. And then um, that's so yeah. Even similar like hair
Yeah.
mannerisms, quirkiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, huh? Never,
Yeah. And
never.
then the other thing that took me a little longer with Alexandra is Alexandra's smile looked really familiar to me. I'm like, I need to understand where that smile is coming from because I know that smile. It took me a little bit, and then I think by episode 4, I got it.
Yeah.
And when she does a kind of a full smile, and then she does a shy smile, it's Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, yeah,
So
right,
go
right.
back to Clueless and look at Alicia Silverstone's
No, no,
smile,
no.
and
I know. I know
yeah.
who you mean. Yep. Yeah. Very. Oh, yeah. Very similar.
So it's these things that keep me watching because I'm trying to figure it out. So
Do I
me is
remind
in.
you of? Do I
Huh?
remind you of anybody? Do I remind you of anybody?
I knew you were going to ask me that question, and you do, but I haven't placed my finger in it yet.
I get Susan Sarandon at
I understand
times.
that.
Hmm.
I understand that.
Um, who else have I gotten? Once in a while, Julianne Moore.
See, that I know. That I definitely see quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, there's more there. I haven't quite gotten
You
to
haven't
it yet.
formulated it yet.
And
Okay.
because again, unfortunately, in season 1, you're only in 2 episodes, at least the 2 episodes that I know, right? So you're in the
I think
pilot, and
I was
then
in. I think I did 5 in season 1, and maybe 5 in season 2, but I did 8 in season 3. So it was my
okay,
big arc for sure.
got it. So I need more FaceTime, so I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll ping you back and I'll let you know who I think it is. But um, I want to get to your tattoos for a second. Again, going around the bend, and they're very very cool. But it's that idea of you that I had from watching all the strong roles, and then kind of surprising me with Lilly, and then the first thing we see, with you right now is your tattoos, which goes back to it.
I
So
lift
what's
weights and
the
I have
story?
tattoos.
Perfect.
Well, all my tattoos, I've got a Superman S on my stomach. That
Yeah.
was the first one, and that was I did a play in 1996 called Poor Superman, written by Canadian playwright Brad Fraser,
Mm.
and it was a really dramatic role. It's very challenging. And then he wrote the movie version, which he cast me in as well. And it was interesting because we opened July 4th, 1996, and we started the movie July 4th, um, 2001.
Oh,
I thought that's kind of cool. So when I
yeah.
got home from shooting, I went and had the Superman put on my stomach. Um, and then this is from a television show, a Canadian television show that is worldwide now. It's called The Republic of Doyle.
Oh.
It's set in St. John's, Newfoundland,
Mm.
and they tried to help me get a Newfoundland accent. They had a coach from. We have a very famous theatrical festival called Stratford Festival
Yeah.
in Ontario. They
Mm.
had the coaches from Stratford trying to help me um, learn, and I had lessons every day for a week. And then I went to the producer, the exec producer. I said, "Can I just read a bit of script for you?" And so I did. And he went, "Yeah, I think, yeah, you're going to come from away." And I went, yes, because all of a sudden I'd moved with Milo from one side of Canada to the very opposite, farthest place you can go in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
I can't do the accent. Are they going to fire me? Maybe they'll send me right back home. No, they let me
Uh,
be from somewhere else. And then it ended up making my storyline really interesting because, as it turned out, I had a criminal past, and I had we had the story be that I'd ratted out my husband at the time,
mhm.
so that I could not serve time in jail. Moved to somewhere he'd never find me, and then in season one, they had the art department take this tattoo and put it on a postcard,
Huh.
and it was from the penitentiary in Ontario, and it was he found me. And then
Wow.
the next thing I know, I walk into my kitchen a couple days later, and he's standing in my kitchen drinking a beer. And it's like, oh my god, how did you find me? Anyway, that was real fun. And then this was for I played Randy the bartender in Tin Star for Amazon Prime, and I just wanted to feel okay. The other thing is, it's exhausting sitting in hair and makeup for hours, and I also had this crazy black hair with extensions, and I thought I don't want to sit there and they were already going to put a whole leg length tattoo on me of these roses in
Yeah.
vines.
Yeah.
That itself, I'd have to sit there with my leg in the air for like 45 minutes at least.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? I'm just going to cut this time down, and I'm going to get me a nice tat. So it's supposed to be a dragon.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, there's the face and
Yep.
stuff.
Mhm.
Anyway, I've got a whole plan now, not related to a show, but I'd like to have some more bands on this arm. And I kind of want to do like spell my name, Lynda, in Egyptian
Okay.
hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Because it's like really interesting little birds and eyeballs and things
Mhm.
like that. And I like Egyptian, um, history. Yeah,
That's very well. I guess a part of me is glad that you're not getting a tattoo for every show that you've been in because that would have been
I would
a
be
lot of
covered
work.
at this point,
Yeah,
right?
that would be a lot
Yeah.
of work.
That's funny. No, I would just have my resume tattooed on my back.
Yeah, that would be easier.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of work, but that would be easier.
And really painful because you know what? It's like lying under a sewing machine. It really
Yeah.
hurts. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. And then COVID came, and I thought, I don't know if this is the time to be doing things like that. But anyway,
Probably not.
yeah,
But it's very cool. So going back to Virgin River, I know season three is just came out.
less than a
Uh,
month ago. Yeah, July
yeah,
9.
yeah. I will be catching up to it probably next week. I think that's that's all I'm going so far.
Okay.
Um, but you've mentioned the backstory of leaving your husband running away. That kind of deals with pages. Now again, I'm still in the beginning of season two, so they're just going to deal with all of that stuff of what happened to Paige
Yeah.
and her husband. So, but at any point, because you've been through so many projects, and sometimes if you're not in the scene, you're not kind of there, but sometimes you are watching. Do anything from your past experiences kind of come up and saying, "Ooh, I'm very familiar with that storyline. I really want to see how they handle it here."
You mean in all of Virgin River?
No, in Virgin River. So speaking of Paige's storyline of Paige Michelle, running away to from her abusive husband
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
going to Virgin River. Some part of that sounds like a backstory that you were just telling me from the 6 seasons you spent in Newfoundland. So does any
Oh,
of that ever kind of creep up and saying that sounds familiar? I know this story.
sometimes, okay,
Okay.
for sure. But I think because I did Republic of Doyle for 6 years, we did
Mhm.
77 episodes.
Yeah.
After a while, it started to feel like it was this really long movie that was changing and evolving
Yeah.
because eventually that crazy ex-husband of mine, we ran him out of town because he was a bit cuckoo and violent and dangerous. And then I married the man of my dreams, who I was running this private investigation um, firm with,
Mhm.
and uh, yeah, so it never occurred to me because that was, I shot that 10 years ago.
Okay. It's interesting again, and I want to ask you because as an actor, my resume is very very limited. But with you having worked on so many projects and with you having to be in the skin of so many characters. I wonder how and where that comes out in life in general. Some situation comes up and you're like, ooh, okay, I remember this.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I often, if something happens in real life that reflects something I've just seen, it's kind of like art life,
yeah,
which
yeah.
which imitate. Yeah, no, and I'm trying to think of specific things, but I mean, okay, for instance, I just finished watching season one, and I know I'm like 3 years behind the scenes or behind the times of Big Little Liars, Nicole
Okay.
Kidman and Reese
Mhm.
Witherspoon. So I'm riveted to that. I just binge watched season one of that. Now there's an abusive husband in there.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, he got his due at the end. But never did it dawn on me that because I've never had an abusive husband,
Yeah.
thankfully. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if I sat there and thought about all the different kinds of characters I played, I'd see like, oh, there's this category of this kind of woman and this kind of character.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I
Have
haven't
you
done
have you played anybody like Lily before?
not really. I
Hmm.
don't think so. And maybe that's because people don't think I'm very nice. They just want to hire me to play. I don't know, um, aggressive. I don't know. No, I don't. I don't think I have.
And
Mm-mm. Well,
how?
wait. Actually, there was one time I did a movie in Halifax based on a book called Nights Below Station Street,
Okay.
and in um, that character, we were very poor. My husband was a raging alcoholic.
Hmm.
I took in kids every day um, to put food on the table because my husband couldn't keep a job. Um, so that, and she was a very timid character. That's the only other time I've ever played a very, very, very timid, not timid, but
Hmm.
yeah, pretty much. And it's interesting because the other day I went to get my second shot, my second Pfizer
Hmm.
shot, and the nurse that was jabbing me was this really cool lady. She had retired as a nurse, and she had taken this job at this center where they were dispensing vaccines just because she wanted to go to Tuscany next year.
Oh,
And so we just talked about that, and she just seemed like the kindest, most sincere person. And I just wanted to sit and talk. I ended up sitting and talking with her for like 20 minutes
yeah.
uh, before she jabbed me because I just thought she was such. I love nurses, first of all. I just think anyone who devotes their life to taking care of us humans is just a, a star, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
I've lost siblings to cancer, and I've seen how the nurses take care of them. And so, yeah, there was just something really down to earth and sincere and um, so of service about this
Yeah.
woman. That's what I got from her in about 20 minutes of sitting with her.
Mhm.
And then she finally jabbed me, and I said, "Well, have fun in Italy," and off I went. But I just thought, yeah, yeah, I haven't really ever, no,
So, how do you find, again, knowing who you are as a person and then having played different characters, how do you find playing Lily? Is it interesting? Is it restrictive? Is it a really good break just to be in a different
yeah,
skin?
yeah. Actually, it was because I think I've learned enough over the 35 years or so that I've been doing mostly acting. Because before that, I was a singer primarily. But I think I've learned that you don't have to be a showstopper to
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You can just do really clean, good, honest work
Yeah.
and trust that that's enough. And I also had a teacher one time who said, make really simple choices so that all that's complex about you can shine through.
Yeah.
And so it was a challenge to just go, this is, you know, somebody, yeah, really simple choices. And then, I mean, I've lived a lot of years and, I've had a sister die of AIDS. I've raised her child. Um, I had two blind brothers growing up. There's so much bad, sad things that have happened in my family that I guess all those layers are in me because I experienced it all.
Yeah.
And I just read the other day the word theater. comes from Greek, and it doesn't mean show. It means I gotta look it up right now because
Yeah.
it's the reason why we go to movies and why we go to theater and why we watch television. We want to see ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to see humanity reflected back at us.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be, you know, honestly, I personally don't like crying a lot when I'm in a character, but I couldn't help it with Lily in season
Yeah.
2. I couldn't help it. um, you'll find out why. Um, yeah, I lost my train of thought because I was trying to look up the word
Well,
theater.
I think, and as you're looking it up, I think just, as somebody who's watching it, it's hard not to cry. Being on that set and being in some of those scenes where it's either your scene or you're there for somebody else, but it's hard not to cry. So I know that after the takes, some people have to kind of stay in character because that's their process. Other people just
Oh
release
yeah,
it and
right.
go do something else. But it's not easy being on a dramatic show like that.
No. Okay, what does theater literally mean in Greek?
Mhm.
Um, Behold, the seeing place. Blah, blah, blah. Arc, a place of seeing.
Mm.
There was a deeper meaning I read somewhere recently that it was a place of seeing ourselves, basically. And I've
Yeah.
always thought that um, that we're trying to reflect back. I think of cave dwellers who, somebody would come back from killing a giant brontosaurus and be like acting out,
Yeah.
and then the artist in the group would go draw it on the wall.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just so
Yeah.
we could all share the experience
Yeah.
together. So I kind of meandered in my answer, but
But I
um,
like it. I haven't thought of it that way, but it makes perfect sense, especially as what are great actors, and great actors are just it's allowing you to really be within them and to experience what they're feeling.
yeah, absolutely. And
So
today I got a message on Instagram from a woman whose mother had had a similar. Um, I don't know if I can talk about.
we can put a disclaimer, but me as the
Yeah.
person who hasn't watched it, I probably don't want to hear about it
Okay,
myself.
you're not going to hear about it anyway. I'm just saying people relate. Okay, for instance,
Sure.
when Lily in season 1,
Right.
I just lost my husband. I'd already had 4
Four
kids,
kids. Yeah.
so I didn't know. And this I've seen this happen with
Mhm.
somebody where they were in a depression. They didn't realize they were pregnant. So
Yeah.
I was grieving Buck. And then a woman can actually give birth to her own baby because I looked that up and I saw many YouTube videos of babies falling out of women. I'm like, okay, so Lily's a farmer. She's used to the life cycle. I had
Yeah.
this baby, and then I went into a severe postpartum,
Yeah.
and I left it on the doctor's office doorstep.
Mhm.
And apparently, a lot of people who had postpartum reacted to that. That gave them whatever it gave them, that it
Yeah.
made a difference. And so, yeah, I think that's part of it. That's you never know who's you're going to affect. So, um, it's pretty honorable job actually to
Yeah.
have.
It's that's true. Yeah. So you with nursing, you with all of your experiences, this must have been hopefully cathartic in some way of being a part of the show.
What do you mean with nursing? I don't get it.
Well, you and your love for nurses and respect for nurses,
Oh,
and Alexandra's
oh yeah, yeah, of
whole
course.
kind of background and how she talks about nursing and what
Yeah,
happened with her and why she wanted to become a nurse herself.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just a lot of things that are playing, kind
yeah,
of echoing your life.
yeah. I never put the two and two together. Yeah, you're a good weaver.
Sometimes it's easier from the outside to see
Right,
those.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a really really interesting show. I look forward to watching, finishing, seeing what happens in season 2, the way that they're setting up, I think I know where they're going with a few storylines, but I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to being surprised
Have some surprise.
and then
Yeah.
seeing what happens in season three. For those people who are like myself, or who are, who haven't watched season three yet, who haven't binged, or are still in the process, what can you tell them without giving anything away about season three?
Let's see, three. Oh, well, there was this really fun couple of weeks where, okay, Vancouver, since you've been here,
Love it.
do you remember Grouse Mountain and all the mountains that surround the city?
Hmm.
There's a mountain called Grouse Mountain. It's very famous for, well, there's just a chairlift. It's a ski mountain. There's a beautiful, uh, well, there's a grizzly bear farm up there. You can meet grizzly bears. You can go ice skating up there. There's also a hike that's really hard to do called the Grouse Grind.
Oh,
Well, anyway, we shot up there for 2 weeks.
okay.
And it was just really cool to be up on the top of the mountain and
Mm.
shooting. It was a really fun episode. It was a kind of a festival that was going on that needed to be in the woods. And yeah, that was really cool. That was a really fun thing. It was a lumberjack kind of situation. And everyone was wearing plaid. So
Why not? Yeah.
that was really cool experience. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was different shooting through protocol. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's scenes where we're supposed to be singing happy birthday for someone or congratulations, but we have to go, okay, we got a surprise party for someone at the bar.
Yeah.
And our director, Martin Wood, goes, okay, when he comes out of the room and we all yell surprise, don't say anything, just go. And we'll fill that because they didn't want droplets going across the set. Yeah, because back then, could this thing COVID travel 6 feet or was it actually 20 feet? And then they were saying people don't be around people who are singing because
Yeah.
they're spraying you with their droplets. So we had to do all kinds of crazy things like that, where they would add the sound later.
Okay. Well, sorry, I a thought came up, but please go ahead. I'll ask in a second.
Oh no, that was it. It was just, and then every time they yell cut, you got somebody rushed in and handed you your mask
Yep.
and your
And a
tape.
shield. Yeah.
And then we didn't go sit around the snack bar and yak. We had to
Yeah.
stay apart. So we'd be sitting in our little tents. We were given these tents, and you'd sit in your tent and you kind of talk through the rubber wall or whatever. It was different. It was very
So,
different.
who was doing your knitting?
Okay, well, I still have that knit. Just wait, hold on.
Okay.
It's somewhere, right? Where did I put that? Oh man, I really want to show you.
Yeah, I want to see it.
It's not. Oh, I don't know where the hell it is.
Okay.
It's a little knitting project that will never get finished because seriously, well, the woman who taught me the beginning, who gave me the wool, she's 95, and I don't think I can go be around her until I'm totally, through my whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, at the end of the season, I said, can I please have my scarf back? My Barbie scarf. It's this big. And then the other thing I took from the show,
Okay.
I asked the prop department though. Okay, my family, I break things, not on purpose, but pretty much every day I break a glass. It's endless. I just trip over things and I drop my phone and crack it. So my family have called me the Moose for many, many years, all my life. So
Aww.
this was from the Lumberjack Festival. And it was in Chloe's baby carriage. And so when I wrapped, I said, please ask props if I can keep the moose because it's a Canadian moose and I am a Canadian moose.
Yeah.
Yeah, adorable.
That's perfect. The second question that I had was, with all of those restrictions, again, I have not watched season three. I'll get to it, but usually there's some sort of kissing involved in season one or season
Yeah.
two. So what could they do in season three? Because you have to have some romantic scenes, right?
Yeah. No, I think because all the American actors that came up quarantined for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Plus, we were tested 3 times a week.
Yeah.
sometimes I go to work and all I do is someone stick a thing up my nose and go like that, and I go, okay, see ya, I'm wrapped. That
Yep.
would be my day if I did.
Yeah.
I was shooting that day. So I mean, because the people that had to do kissing
Yeah.
knew, we knew every day basically that we were all fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And we
Okay.
only ever had one person, I think, somebody who was working kind of almost remotely.
Okay.
So not it never affected anybody, and that's about 200 people, including
That's
crew. And
impressive.
yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was the protocols up here were fantastic. They really were. It's just like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna keep telling stories, and no one's gonna get hurt. So I'm
Good.
very proud of our film industry. Very
Again,
much so.
lots of respect for Vancouver, for Toronto, for what they're doing. It's really impressive. Very cool. Well, such a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. And
Yeah.
I'll ping you back on two things. Number one, I will figure out who you remind me of. And number two,
Okay.
I'll let you know once I finish with season 3.
Okay. 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 Very good. Yeah, I want to know what you think.
And
And
your
good luck with
homework,
your taking.
huh?
What's my homework? I have
Your
homework.
homework is I want to see the picture of that little baby scarf that you're, that
I
you're
know
getting.
that. I still the wool is this big and the scarf is this big.
So
So
cute.
yeah. Oh my
Okay.
God. That's it's a project I just pick up and whenever I have time. No, I don't. It's in that closet somewhere.
Very
Anyway,
good.
good luck with your audition this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
And thanks to everybody for tuning in to another episode of Let's Dive In, where we're speaking with Lynda Boyd. Please, please go watch the 3rd season or the 1st and the 2nd season before
Yeah.
that of Virgin River on Netflix. Link right below this video. Thank you, everybody.